Hi, welcome to Plastinct, where one more is one less. We're going to start by telling you a little bit about Plastinct's origin story. And it all began when one of our co-founders, Timothy Dowdy, every day would walk his dog in Rock Creek Park in Washington, D.C. And as he walked along the waterways of Rock Creek Park, he would notice plastics and other materials that were just about to enter into our waterways and begin to pollute and have an impact. And he wanted to know what he could do to sort of make a change and fix that problem. So he took a simple act. Every day when he walked with his dog, he would bring with him a bag. And as he walked along the park, if he saw plastics, other materials that were about to enter into the water stream, he would take them out of that location and get them somewhere where they could be processed. And what we're looking at here is a picture of Tim's dog and one day's what he would call harvest as he walked along each day. And so Tim began to think about the potential impact of what if we had dozens of Tims or hundreds of Tims all walking in the parks all across America, all taking the simple act of getting materials before they're about to enter streams and get them into a process where they could be handled. And so that's how Plastinct was born. And so we began to think about, is there a way that we could provide encouragement and rewards and show that we're valuing that simple act of getting plastics out of the environment and then offer a process where those can be well managed and let users know that that's going to happen. And that was the genesis of Plastinct. So sort of shortly, here's how Plastinct works. Whenever somebody is on location, they're able to sort of make a simple act by participating with our technology, which is the Plastinct app, and then we also have our smart bins and smart bags and one bins. All this sort of technology process is to sort of help people know that we're being acknowledged and rewarded for taking this action. And so when they select the plastic and pick it up and interact, they're going to get that into our process, they're going to get rewarded and encouraged to do so, and then they're also going to know that the Plastinct system will be processing that for them. There's two different ways that we do this. Currently, Plastinct 2 and Plastinct 1, they're both in consideration. Plastinct 2 is our full service model. It uses smart bins and smart bags in addition to the app. There's sort of a heavier process that have stronger verification, stronger encouragements for users, and then also back-end processing for pre-sorting and rewards. And then we also have our lighter deployment, which is Plastinct 1. Plastinct 1 is much more sort of a self-service, more app-driven model that takes advantage of existing infrastructure and encourages more participation in those existing programs. Let's take a look at both of these in more detail. So Plastinct 2, like Plastinct 1, it really starts with the app, and that's where users are able to sort of get their interaction with Plastinct. They're able to sort of create an account and see the impact that they've had and the impact of others. They can see that through numbers and visuals. They can be encouraged with maps to identify where some of our smart bins are going to be located, potential harvesting maps, and then also get messaging and alerts for opportunities. And what the user will do is, as they're beginning their, let's say, entering Rock Creek Park, they're going to identify several of our smart bins that'll be in that location. They'll take out their phone and their app and use their QR code, and they'll scan at that smart bin. What's going to happen is then that will acknowledge their participation and unlock our bag dispenser. And that's when they're going to take their smart bag. And the smart bag is going to be a very cute backpack that someone can put on their back, made of recyclable material that they can take with them as they're doing their activities. So they don't have to be quite like Tim carrying his bag of trash every day. They can put this backpack on and go about doing whatever they do. But when they encourage plastics and other materials, they can take that and put that into that smart bag. When they are done with their harvest, when they're ready to leave the park, they'll identify another one of our smart bins. They'll then take out their phone again and rescan. This will sort of confirm their participation in our process, give them a verification, and also unlock the receptacle. They don't have to go home like Tim and sort of go through the material they picked up. All they've got to do is take that smart bag off their backpack, put it into the receptacle, and lock it up. At that point, they're done. They get verified they've taken this action. They get rewarded and confirmed for it. And rewards could potentially be translated into other benefits, but they're really done in the Plastinct system. At that point, Plastinct takes over. Our smart drivers are going to be notified, and at some point they can go out to certain smart bins, collect all the bags, and bring them to our Plastinct facility. And that's where Plastinct staff members will be able to verify that the deposit was actually made, and also do a pre-sorting. And this sort of takes some of the pressure off of the existing infrastructure by helping make sure that materials are recycled at the best possible way, and we're getting the most impact out of the material that was taken out of the potential waterway and into the recycling process. So in addition to Plastinct 2, there's also the lighter model, because we do recognize that Plastinct 2 comes with additional costs to deploy the smart bins, there's additional costs to sort of do the additional processing, and while there's benefits for the verification and pre-sorting, we wanted to make sure there's also a light model to get some initial deployments out there. And what Plastinct 1 is, it offers the one bin, which sort of builds upon existing infrastructure that's already in place. And Plastinct 1 is much more, almost entirely self-service and app-driven. And so unlike Plastinct 2, where a user, before they begin their harvest, has to unlock and collect access to a bag, at any point they can log into the app and verify they've made a deposit. At Plastinct 1 smart bins, at Plastinct 1 bins, there will be opportunities to take a small trash bag, similar to what Tim would take in his everyday walk, so they could take that with them, or they could choose not to. And then when they have these materials that they're then putting into existing trash and recycling, they take out the app and confirm that action. So it's a much lower verification of that actual act, but there is some opportunity for verification through geolocation, selfies, or other opportunities. But really, it's much more of an altruistic, self-service, self-verifying model. But the biggest difference is that it's not going to have the whole back end for processing and pre-sorting. Instead, we're building upon the existing infrastructure that's already in place in these counties. What we want to do is drive additional use and additional participation in that existing infrastructure. And then also let people know that that is valued and see that they're the acts they've taken. But they might want to know that they're the person who's made the most contributions in their park, for example. So that's really sort of a quick summary of the Plastinct model, both Plastinct 1 and Plastinct 2 that are in consideration. We're looking forward to continuing to move down this path and get feedback from users and see where we go from here. Thank you for your time.